Hi there, my name's Lauren McCann. I was just on the Keith Andrews show. Thank you so much, Keith, for having me. Tune in, and I hope you get inspired.
My name is Keith Andrew, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network. It is episode 778. That's right, 778. I'm here with the beautiful and talented professional actress, Lauren McCann. To get a special episode, make sure to like and subscribe to Keith Andrew Network, available on YouTube.com and available on Facebook. Following's brought to you by the X Zone and Life of a Fighter. With that being said, let's jump right into it. So the first question I want to ask you is, what can you tell our audience a little bit about you and a little bit about your background?
So my name is Lauren McCann, and right now I'm a stay-at-home mom with two kids. One is now put to bed, the other is watching a screen. But my background is in education, and I found myself in New York and really had a passion for acting and filmmaking, and have taken a total career path and switch to pursue those dreams.
No, absolutely. What motivated you to start your career?
Well, I was an actor in Canada, so I'm Canadian, and came to the United States about 7 years ago. Holy cow, time flies. It was something I always wanted to do, but wanted to make sure that I kind of had a backup plan. So got my education degree, and I just love teaching. And when I love something, I follow it all the way with my heart, and ended up getting a PhD. And then kind of put acting on the back burner, but then came to New York, and all of a sudden it was like the world was telling me something. You know, that story came full circle. I wanted to get to New York and be an actor, and then I found myself here without really putting in the effort to do so. So
No, I agree with you. And you always should have the heart and passion to do what you love, because you should never do anything half-assed, because you're, number one, you have the first 10 seconds to make a good impression. And if someone important walks by and you're like in a, I don't care mood, then that will carry over. It's like, well, if you didn't care about this job, why should we work with you on this one?
Totally. You got it.
Now, the next one I was going to ask you is, how can our listeners follow you on social media? Are you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram, Lauren McCann Official. I haven't learned about TikTok or all this new stuff. The old dog can't learn new tricks.
Well, it's always good to learn new things.
I know. I just don't have time. I'm full school remote with the kids, and it's taken on a life of its own.
No, I understand. The next question I want to ask you is, how you been during quarantine?
Very busy. It's been all consuming, but I mean, you have to think of the positive. My kids are closer than ever. Our family is closer than ever. We're all healthy. Things could be worse.
No, I can relate, but mine's the opposite. There's some people in my house who want to strangle me. It's like they can't take another year of me.
Oh, trust me. We all have those moments too.
But, the good news is, they're going to open more vaccination sites. And once you get the double dose and the 2 shots, wear a mask and you pretty much can go back to work. Yes, yeah. There's a chance of you getting sick, but hey, at least you're getting somewhat of your life back.
Oh, yeah. It's so important.
No, I agree. Now, the next question I want to ask is, social media. With everything that you accomplished in your acting career, do you think that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, do these platforms, or have these platforms open any doors for you? And do you say, it's because of my Facebook fan page, I came across this person, or I got this opportunity?
Yes and no. I would say the bigger opportunities are not thanks to social media, but to the work that you put in. But the people that I've met and the community that I've met that sort of share those same creative values and want to just do their own projects and talk about acting and talk about movie making, that is through social media. And who knows where those can go, right? So thanks to social media, you meet people, you're more social.
Hey, look at it like this. If there was no internet and this pandemic happened 2021 years ago or 20 years ago, people would be jumping out the freaking window because you have no one to talk to.
Yeah.
You're so isolated. Now you have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you have these escapes. But if you go back 20 years ago or even at the 90s, and I'm making myself feel old, I'm only 33, there was absolutely nothing. You would probably lose your insanity.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like my family's in Canada, my husband's family's in Poland. The borders are closed. We haven't seen them for almost a year. And thanks to the computer, we speak every week and we see each other, which was never a possibility before.
The next one I want to ask you is, there's a funny video that The Simpsons predicted certain things in certain episodes. To give you an example I'm talking about, there's one episode where they predicted FaceTime before there's about like 95, 96. They knew about JCPenney going out of business. They knew about, supposedly 9/11 before it happened. They knew about the coronavirus, but they called it something else.
Right.
It's kind of interesting, but certain things that they predicted happened. But thank God, on the other hand, certain things they predicted haven't happened. And, things could have been worse. This virus could have been no antidote. And if you get it, you're pretty much in God's hand. Not sound religious or anything. You make it, you do, you don't. But thank God, there's a vaccine.
Yeah.
But this virus could have easily been turned into zombies. It could have been a lot worse. And that's scary because scientists don't know when to knock it off. Because if you keep poking at something, you won't like. It's like Stephen Hawking said, in Battleship when they were sending out, and that's funny you said even put it in a movie. Stephen Hawking says turn off the shadow light because they were sending out radio signals to see if there's any life forms out there. You do not. Yes, you do want to hear something's out there, but you may not like what answers back. So we're going to be like Columbus meeting the Indians, and unfortunately, we're going to be the Indians. So yes, it's interesting to see, life in space, but you really have no idea what you're stepping into.
Yeah, you got to put yourself out there and be ready for it if that's what you're expecting.
No, I agree. So I know we started the interview late. I do apologize for that. But I'm going to pass it over to you. Was there anything you want to talk about, promote, ask me? I have no cards up my sleeve. So this is your time. You can ask me anything.
No, I mean, I was interested. I was very excited to speak to you because, you're talking about people that do have learning disabilities. And I myself am very dyslexic. Very. But I got a PhD. It didn't hold me back. And it's being able to know your limits, to know how to overcome those. I have now since discovered I have another thing that is now named called a very sensitive person. My daughter has it too. I'm learning about this through her. She's on the charts, let's put it that way. And I'm like, oh my God, me too. But as an adult, you learn how to cope with it. And I tell her now it's like our superpowers because I've discovered acting through it. I am so sensitive to everything, like almost too much, but it has helped me now create a career that, I'm hoping to do quite well in. And if I didn't have that superpower, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And, she's a little artist too, and just pays attention to every single detail. And yes, it could be hard and sometimes, but it's also a gift if you know which way to direct it.
I agree with you. For me, I'm guilty of walking around with my emotions on my sleeve. But, I'll give you an example I'm talking about. I've been using Facebook. I know you're trying to use the word because, that's not where you're an interviewer, you're supposed to speak. But hey, my show is about disability, so whatever. But anyway, I use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn to network with so many people. And when I approach somebody, automatically, I was like, you know what? Prepare yourself for worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is you got to ask them a question and you're going to say no. So prepare yourself for a no. So when I asked you want to be a guest on my show, I automatically assumed you got to say no. So I didn't feel like, oh my God, my heart. But you shouldn't walk around with your guard down because no one likes to be sucker punched.
Right.
But you have to be realistic that it's a 50-50. So you have to look at, okay, yes, 50% is this is going to work out, but on the off chance it doesn't work out, don't get your feelings hurt because there's so many people out there. I reached out to, can't think of his name, but he's the lead singer of Herman Termits.
Oh my God.
And
this is brown, you've got
I thought it's just a big surprise to my parents. Like, hey, guess who got on the show? But as I said, prepare yourself or, a no. It's you don't want to walk around with that attitude too. You want to be like groupie. But he said, I wish you the best of what you're doing, but I can't be on your show now. I'm a big wrestling fan. I asked Amy DeMont and Mick Foley. They said that they cannot do it. It'll be on my show now. So it is. My biggest thing is I take things personally. So I'm trying not to. So that's why I'm like, okay, if I ask you a question, I automatically assume you're going to say no. I'm like, okay, say no. Got to go to somebody else. I'm going to go to someone else. I'm not going to be like, my whole world is falling apart. I'm not going to, be like, I don't know, emo. Yeah. But it's like one of those things where, my friend Raven said to me, what makes you different is you have a disability. And there's thousands of different podcasts out there. And he said to me, you did join the podcast game late, even though I did start it in 2013, whatever. But, going back, there was no Zoom in 2013. There was Skype, but there was no recording. I give you an example of what I did, and hopefully it'll work. Let's see, can I get you on that screen? See the reflection?
Yeah.
That's season 1. So I'm like, okay, I have a camera.
That looks really cool.
No, absolutely. This is season 1. So what you see on the screen is what they had. And people are like, yeah, we don't like the video quality. It's like, Jesus Christ, I'm doing the best I can. Then over the years, season 3, 4, I got Ecamm, ECAMM. And I think it's like $30 or something. You can record Skype calls. So yes, I could have done this from the start. If I didn't have my head on my, butt. But given you wouldn't see the process of me growing for almost 8 years. So every season, from the phone, from Skype recorder to now Zoom, I don't have to decorate my bed anymore. I have now a backdrop. It's kind of like you see the process. If you do something, I need to do something perfect, no mistakes, perfect, then people are like, oh, well, apparently you had help with this. You didn't do this on your own. But I took the alternative road of saying, this is what I did. And anyway, I know I have 2 minutes left. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, when I first approached you and we can definitely do a part 2. We have more time, but I do apologize. If you're available tomorrow, we can definitely work something out. But wrapping up, when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what made you say yes? After being a guest, how do you feel now? And what would you say to people out there who are hesitant about being on my show?
Oh, I mean, I just love people. I love the personal connection that people can make. And through something like this, being able to see you and talk kind of live with you is great. And, you know, I want to inspire other people who are, you know, wanting to change careers at a later game. Like I'm 40. And, you know, stay-at-home moms that it's tough, man. You lose yourself very, very quickly. And, you know, trying to make a way to sort of carve out time for yourself to do your own passion and dream in that sense. And how do I feel after? Like, I feel great. I feel like I've connected with a new person, and hopefully somebody will watch that and think, oh man, like, wow, if that girl could do it, so could I.
No, absolutely. You know, I don't usually do my catchphrase because I've been doing it for 787 episodes. So it's kind of like, you know, for the most part, people, oh, we heard the catchphrase, skip it. So I'm like, okay, which
See, I haven't heard it.
Okay, I'd be more than happy to tell you. The whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something.
Of course.
At the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. Never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. So prove to them it's them out to something. And I've been doing that for almost 8 years, and people are like, fast forward, heard it, and like every single, don't start every episode like that. So I'm like, okay, if I don't do it in the beginning, maybe I can do it in the second half. Because if you watch my work from the beginning, hopefully you know what the message is by now. But like I said, I know you have to go by 8:30. But I do have a couple questions about wrapping up. It was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. And this was our very short episode, but I'm looking forward to catching up with you real soon.
Hi, it's Mimi Chen.
Hi, my name is Ellen Dorsch.
It's Shauna Todd.
Hey guys, I'm Anastasia Edwards.
Hi, this is Jackie Nunez.
Hi, I'm Amelia Rose.
Hey guys, I'm Alexandria Denise, and you're watching Keith Andrew's show. He's doing a terrific job. Make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more often.